What is going up? What is going on? All right, today is December 28th, but the stock market is closed pretty much. So we're gonna be playback trading the next day in our playback week thing, which is now we're doing November 19th. And we're gonna try these continue testing these 5 point entries. We'll see how they work. Yeah, so far not too bad, at least for this week. So we'll try it again on the weeks we have traded already and see if it still works out okay. But so far so good. We actually find ourselves trading a lot less second entries, a lot less non-obvious. Yeah, we'll see how these go. All right, we just entered a trade. All right, we just got the scalp. This goes slightly against our notes, which is before 8:30. People like to chase those spikes. So this was kind of that the strategy we use after 8:30, which is they love to pick the bottoms of those spikes. And in this case, the market dropped and started dropping really fast, and I just had a gut feeling to sell here, really, using an 8:30 and to 11 strat, which was when you get those huge spikes, a ton of people are gonna be picking the bottom of that. And so we've been on this strong uptrend, and as soon as that market dropped, it was really and so we had a swing high, first entry, second entry. No, it was a spike. And we can imagine, since we've been on the strong uptrend, a lot of people don't really play the highs and lows when it's the previous day or if it's at midnight. You see November 19th right here. And you do have these highs like right in there. But I noticed that a lot of people tend to go against that and go more for the most recent like trend. So if we came back and tested it, then the market's going to bounce pretty hard. Then they would start playing off of that high. And see it as like an actual level of resistance. Same thing kind of goes for the support, but this is actually a good level of support here that people are going to use just because it's a little bit further in the day. And so once again, you had this like drop in the market, and a ton of people are going to be picking that spike. As you can see, we've been on here, and you can see every time we drop, it shot right back up. I didn't really notice that till right now, but that's also a good thing to use. It's a huge drop, and a ton of people are gonna pick the buy, and you just been on this strong uptrend all day. So yeah, that was a pretty decent trade. No runner though. Again, we start on the 450 tick chart. Then when 8 a.m. comes, we'll go ahead and switch to set 950. Yeah. All right, this is something to take note of. I usually don't talk about a trade unless we're in it now. That's something I just want to start doing just because I don't want to say anything that's useless information, especially if we get stopped out. So I just wait for the trade to trigger, then I say we're in a trade, and once we get the first thing, then I say why we took it or why we shouldn't have taken it, instead of the misleading information up until the scalp or the stop out. Anyway, this is something I do want to say though. We have a ton of support here. And the reason I want to say it is because there's going to be a ton of setups that you're like a little iffy on, and you shouldn't be taken right away just because. And this is one of those cases. You have a ton of support here, and I would usually say if once we bounce off the top and you got a strong spike and there's a slight pullback and the market starts, and if the market started to push down, we could imagine a ton of people selling, trying to get back to the other side. However, there's a ton of support there, so that's just something to keep in mind. Of not to say hey, you should go long there, or hey, you should go short there, try to stop them out. Nothing. I'm just saying you gotta watch out for those levels of support. So to be clear, we're not taking a trade, even though it's a great two-legged move. I would prefer it to go in the other direction, and then maybe we might take a trade. Maybe, not saying we will, but yeah. All right, there seems to be a problem with my account because I switched to a live account and it's still stuck on December 18th, and I see like people like Steven Duck still trading. So yeah, I think it was my market data thing. So. We're gonna load this day back. I think when we were trading the 19th, right? And yeah, we were at like 747. Yeah, I remembered. All right, got it loaded up. All right, we got fill on the order, but to the tick, so only a partial order. Looks like just our scalp. Oh, we might get. Yep, there's the full order. All right, we were one tick away from that organ. Looks like the pre-market 8:30 worked out there, and I was going to initially do that. We did come off the highs over here, and when the market shot down, then we could suspect a lot of bottom picking, and so that's why that worked. But then here, you have this overall trend of people trying to chase the market back up to the highs to stop out these people, and so selling there was the best option. Looks like there was also a swing high here, first entry, second entry, and the 8:30. 8:30 comes in right in here, right off that low, going along there. Looks like everybody's just trying to stop these people out, and going along there was the best option. There was also never mind. I thought it broke lower. Never mind. Entered the trade, got the scalp. So that was a good trade. We did a 5-point entry on a swing low, first entry, second entry. We said to ourselves, if the markets began to correct, we can imagine a ton of people trying to correct all the way back to the lows over here. So a ton of people started chasing that market, and we got the scalp. Oh, entered the trade. I'm not sure if we entered at the right spot though, but looks like we were a tick off, but we got the overall idea. So we entered on a non-obvious, just due to the fact that it's a huge spike, and it's not necessarily your first opportunity to go short, but you had a spike down, first entry, second entry, and we know we wanted to take advantage of everybody going short here on the second entry because of that spike, but this wasn't a spike, so we had to do a non-obvious. Your entrance would have been right one tick off right here, but either way it works out. We just knew people are trying to trade back to the other side. Yeah, we took advantage of that trade. Got it by a couple ticks. Alright, we just entered the market here. And yeah. We did a swing low, first entry, second entry, and then we said if the market were pushing down here, but that doesn't work out because looks like a ton of people were chasing this spike right here, and there was no stops necessarily. And this didn't really hit the resistance up here. If it came to the resistance level, then we could have said that, oh, a ton of people would start showing that. Looks like since it didn't come all the way to the highs, a ton of people were still going long. Entered the market, got the scalp and the runner. So that was a very good trade. We had a swing high, first entry, second entry. And after that spike, a ton of people were going to go long. And once the market started to coming back, they were thinking the market was going to come back to this side. It was just a very good entry. It was also sort of a higher low on the minute chart here. This was a very nice green bar. And then we did a 5-point entry on that red bar right there. So very good trade. Alright, in this case, we have a second entry both directions, but I want to go for the one that's on this side. Maybe, and I'll explain why if we go ahead and get the trade. Buying here on this bar right here was actually a pretty good option, but yeah. The reason why is because people are still shorting, and after a strong spike like that, after these highs, going along right there was a very good option. Looks like you would have just got the scalp. Entered the market. Nice, we got the scalp. So that was a little iffy trade, but it was a pretty decent trade. We had a swing low, first entry, second entry. This was our signal bar. This one with nobody. And we did a 5-point saying if the market started to come down in this direction, we could suspect a lot of people to start selling because we've been on these highs, and it looks like a great double tap, which people are going to end up taking on the 1-minute chart. So we knew that people would be selling, and as you can see, it was a nice green bar, and that we capitalized on enough people going short there. And yeah, we capitalized on their trades, their orders, and yeah, it was a good trade. So that was a good trade overall because the market didn't come down any further. I thought we just got it by the scalp, but it looks like we held on somehow, some way. Market kept going up, so we were right. Nice, good trade. Alright, I stepped out for a tad bit. We could about right there. That would have been a good trade. Swing high, first entry. You can imagine this is your first opportunity to go long, so buying right there is the best option. Yeah, that would have worked out. Entered the market. Actually, that was a really bad trade. Alright, entered it again on a better, hopefully better. Nope, just kidding. Gotcha. Okay, so buying there was the best option. It looks like, in my head, I accounted this as a topping pattern here. And I thought selling would have been the best option because I thought a lot of people would try to outsmart the market by going long, but it looks like everybody started shorting this thing, which makes sense because people like to trade back into a range. So when you got a topping pattern in there and second entry like this, swing double top. Actually, no, first entry, second, that was it right there. So that was just a bad trade. That's all right. That's all right. It's a-okay. Let's rewind to 57. All right, so we rewinded back because we were just taking bad trades overall, and yeah, I want to take better trades. Yeah, or take the trades I should have took, which is like this one. So we're buying here because it's a spike. People like to trade back into those like ranges. So yeah, that's a good trade. We lost a tick there. That's all right. And yeah, we took a second entry that was not a second entry at all. Here's your first opportunity to go long somewhere here, right here. All right, we entered the market. Nice, got the scalp. We knew that would happen. Could have took this one on a double top. First entry, second entry, and buy sell right here because that's your first opportunity. People like to trade back into those. Selling right there was actually the best option. Just entered the market and exited it. Just a second later, like half a second later, I stopped recording. But yeah, swing low, first entry. Forgot my daughter's sleeping. Second entry, it pushed up higher and pushed on down. So this was our signal bar right here, and 5 ticks out. Yeah, that was an easy one. We knew a ton of people would start shorting here once you had that topping pattern and then a spike down. Oh, we only got about a couple ticks. Looks like it's gonna race towards the stop if we were still in this trade, of course. But after that spike up and once the market started to push down, I was just a little worried about this slow. As you can see, it even came down to stop those people out. But we bought there because we knew a ton of people saw this like topping pattern, and they're trying to trade back into the range. So once that market, we knew at this point, we said to ourselves, if it came down 5 points lower, a ton of people would start selling here, and that's why we took that trade. Here, it's not so obvious to take the trade, so I'm not going to be doing a a non-obvious or even taking any sort of position here, because you have a swing high, first entry, second entry right here. Maybe you could go long just because a ton of people were so going long here was the best option because a ton of people are trying to short back into here. So like it looked like going long that was actually the best option. Yeah. Oh, you had those spikes down too. I would have said that people like to trade back into the range, but this is the overall trend range that people are trying to trade back into. So and when I mean this, I mean like this right here. And so yeah, that you would have just got the scalp there, it looks like. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, you would have just got that back scalp, looks like. So maybe a non-obvious, huh? Yeah, you would have to do a non-obvious because... Oh, wait, no. You would buy. Never mind. Wait a minute. Have I been recording this entire time? Oh, no, I haven't. I don't think I have. Maybe I was. Anyway, I said, what did I say? Oh, we could have took this 5-point entry here. That was a little bit too up and down, so maybe next time it might have not worked, but so we stayed out of it. But it would have worked in this scenario. It was a little bit too up and down for me to take. All right, enter the trade. All right, looks like we just got the scalp. So we had a swing roll first entries, and this was our last level of resistance, and you can see we broke through there and never came back and retested. Those bars are green as ever and just shot straight up. So people are looking to trade back and retest, or at least push down all the way back to the other side of this range, or last level of resistance or support. And it's a spike, so a 1-tick entry. People like to trade those back in, and also it's a spike, so people like to sell back into them. So yeah, I think people are still picking tops here, but I do want to sell because people are not convinced this market's gonna actually. Oh, I shouldn't talk. before trade. One tick entry would work. I was just a little hesitant, but that's your first opportunity to enter this strong uptrend, and it's been on an uptrend. If it was like this, sideways and a spike, then maybe I would be hesitant to take it because it's just such a strong spike. But you've been on this uptrend all day, so yeah, first opportunity. And that would have been the trade right there. Just got entered into a trade. Oh, gotta stop that. Alright, we had a swing low, first entry, second entry in this direction. I thought for sure if prices started to work down, people would start selling. There's no actual level of like resistance or like people would have your stop. So this is like the last spot. So we can imagine a lot of people getting stopped out. So I'm a little bit tiny confused on why the market kept pushing on down here. Looks like people are still going long. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know, man. I do not know. That one is a tough one. I'm okay with that loss because it's a little bit of a double bottom. Let's see what it looks like on a minute chart. I had it over here, so it's pretty much a double bottom over here. But I mean, swing low first entry, second entry. 5 points out. We didn't get the scalp, unfortunately. That's a tough one. I would take that even until next time. Yeah. I'm kind of confused on that actually. Maybe once you're watching this, you can figure it out. Alright, looks like a one tick entry would have worked really nice here. We had a swing low, first entry, second entry, one tick entry. I was just a little worried about the support being here, worried that some people would try to push this market and stop everybody out here. But looks like a ton of people went short here on that first attempt to go lower. It is off those highs. So one tick entry would have worked. Looks like people were really calling tops there, or enough people were getting stopped out for the market to keep pushing up. Yeah. Looks like another one tick entry would have worked here. I just thought, since we pushed out this level of resistance and people like to trade those back in, but looks like since we've been on this crazy uptrend, a ton of people were going to start buying there. So one tick entry, we got to be mindful of this crazy uptrend. Yeah, but that could change at any point during this day, just based on the way the market behaves. Just entered a trade, just got stopped out of the trade. 5 point entries are not really working. Seems like we just came off these lows. Looks like buying here was the most obvious thing to do, especially since you had a spike down. A ton of people would be chasing that. I just thought that once prices started to push up here, that people would start buying, but it looks like everybody just started selling, and all these people started getting stopped out. Actually, looks like we might have to switch, and I think we're okay. But a ton of people just started selling. It looks like a ton of sells are still coming in here. People picking tops, and that's going to really push the market up. So after a spike down like that, we can suspect a lot of people to yeah, it's a tough day. It's always going to be a tough day. When is an easy day? Are there ever easy days? I don't know. But we do have this here. Enter the trade, got the scalp, nice. Those seem to work really well on a swing low. Not really. First entry. We'll just call this a triple. Or swing low, first entry. Oh wait, no, it is. Yeah, it is. I thought it wasn't. Swing low, first entry, second entry. Nice. Pretty obvious one. Some people would start selling here at these highs, and yeah, good trade. They're picking tops on those spikes. Scalp and runner. Just entered the market, and we got the scalp. I was a little worried that that wasn't going to work out, just because it's a little bit too much of a repeat pattern. But it looks like we got the scalp as well as the runner, so that was an amazing trade. So we had a strong uptrend, of course, and the spike. and a two-legged pullback. We can imagine a ton of people going long here, trying to fool everybody who thinks we're coming back over here. So they all go long there, and a good second entry. Looks pretty good on the minute chart as well. Swing high, first entry, second entry. And yeah, that was just a good, fantastic trade. Now it's a little past 11 now, and here was okay because it matched up with the 1 minute chart. But now we on the 1 minute chart we had the swing low, first entry, second entry. So now we're gonna have to go ahead and switch. So it looks like the 700 tick chart, because this 450 already has a couple swings in there that the minute chart doesn't. Kind of want to take a second entry short because we can imagine a lot of people going long here. That would have worked. Enter the market just by the tick. Got the scalp. So that was a pretty good trade. We had a swing low, first entry, second entry. Gave it to us just by the tick. Just by the tick. We got the scalp. Let's see if we can get a good runner going. We're just gonna leave our stop right there. Maybe plus one more just in case of slippage. And so we had a swing low, first entry, second entry. We decided to do a non-obvious. I mean a 5-point entry. It was a little bit of a strange one, but I liked it because you had these up and down motions. But as soon as the market started to push down here, we can imagine a ton of people starting to sell as well, just because they think this trend line is gonna be over with, and people are trying to push the market back into this like range here. So people might be trying to push back to the other side of the lows once it starts to work down there, and a ton of people started selling, as we can see, and that pushed the market right back up. So it was a good trade. We got the runner, a crazy runner too. Couldn't ask for a better trade than that, huh? Could have held on to it, but I was a little distracted playing drums with Nate. Alright, we had entered the market right here. Gotta stop that right here. Essentially, it was a swing low, first entry, second entry. It was turned into a spike, but compared to the other spikes, that's not really a spike. So maybe you could have done a non-obvious. Excuse me. As you can see, it broke lower just by a tick. Honestly, actually, it's not. It's just 1, 2, 3 bars. So that was not a spike. I do, however, like a 5-point entry because maybe we'll see. We entered the market. Oh my god, what a drop. Oh my goodness. Hello. What? Okay, interesting, bro. Whoa. Missed it. It was your first opportunity to go short. Only 1 tick entry. It's a huge spike down. People are going to chase the market back to the other side. Looks like the market picked up on volatility, so maybe switching back to the 950. Spike, 1 tick entry would have worked. Double bottom, first entry, second entry. Buying here was actually the best option. You had a strong spike. People liked for that to correct. And that second entry going long, I think that would actually work out pretty well. Oops, I accidentally hit max. But not much actually. Moving to the 700 at 1 o'clock because minute chart is having different like swings and stuff. The bars are just, it's developing more bars. Alright, just entered the market. Oh. All right, so we had a swing high first entry, second entry right there, but obviously it's a huge spike. It was a huge spike, and a ton of people were going to start selling there just because we've been on this uptrend and people were trying to correct this. It became a range day, so people were going to chase that market back down. So yeah, but now we got another setup, swing low first entry, second entry. Let's go ahead and see what we do here. Got in the market here, 10x the speed. It took a very long time, but so we got the scalp, swing low first entry. People were gonna pick that top because people love picking the tops the entire way up. So we got the scalp as well as the runner. So pretty good trading. I think that's going to be it for today. It's 2 o'clock and ending the day, probably break even after commissions and stuff and taxes. Now probably negative after taxes, but we learned a lot. There was a bunch of swings here, absolutely nothing, which is interesting. Yeah. So hopefully we can go back through the trade and see what we did wrong. Just only a handful of trades actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 12 trades. That's usually we have like 30. Yeah. But maybe that's a good thing. All right. And then the day green. Not too bad. All right. Peace.